The glow of her phone screen was the only light in the otherwise dark room. Bai Lu sat curled on the couch, her hair falling loosely over her face, her fingers moving hesitantly as she typed. Outside her window, the city pulsed with life, but here, in this small pocket of solitude, it was just her and the words she was about to send out into the world. She read them again before posting, each word carrying a weight she could feel in her chest. Then, with a single tap, it was live. Within minutes, the internet was alive with questions. Her post was short, but it was the kind of short that left too much space for imagination. Some people leave without saying goodbye, but some stay without ever saying they are here. That was all she wrote. No emojis, no hashtags, no explanations. Fans immediately flooded Weibo with reactions. Some claimed it was a line from an old poem, others said it was a quote from a drama script. But the ones who had been watching her closely for years knew this was different. Her past posts had always carried a playful edge, a wink to her audience, but this felt heavier, more personal. It felt like a message that was never meant for the public, yet had somehow slipped through the cracks. Screenshots spread across fan forums like wildfire. Threads titled, "Who is Bai Lu talking about?" And the hidden meaning behind her words climbed to the top of trending discussions. Some fans dissected every character, pointing out subtle tonal choices in the Chinese phrasing that could imply longing or regret. Others compared the post to her older ones, noting that in the past 3 months, her tone had shifted from lighthearted to contemplative, even melancholic at times. Then came the theory that would ignite the entire fandom, that the message was not random at all, but aimed at Wang and Shinyu. It was a bold claim, but one that seemed to gather evidence quickly. Just last week, Dylan and Shinyu had been spotted together at a private industry dinner, an appearance that was supposed to be strictly professional but had set off waves of gossip nonetheless. Fans began piecing together a timeline. Bai Lu had been filming in the same city just days before. There had been unconfirmed whispers of a chance encounter at a quiet cafe, one where Dylan was allegedly seen walking out moments after she arrived. Witnesses claimed they had not spoken, but the tension in the air had been impossible to ignore. Could this post have been her way of saying what she could not say to his face? Insider sources, always eager to stoke the flames, hinted that Bai Lu and Dylan's friendship had been under strain for months. Not because of an argument, but because of a silence between them, the kind of silence that grows heavier the longer it is left unbroken. Some even speculated that Shinyu's increasing presence in Dylan's life had changed something unspoken between him and Bai Lu. As the night wore on, the post became more than just words. It became a mirror, reflecting the fears and desires of everyone who read it. Some saw heartbreak, others saw hope. Some said it was a plea for someone to finally speak. Others believed it was a farewell disguised as poetry. Bai Lu herself remained silent, watching the speculation spiral, her own expression unreadable as the screen lit up again and again with new notifications. By morning, the post had been shared tens of thousands of times. Industry bloggers began weighing in, each offering their own interpretation. Some claimed to have insider knowledge that confirmed the Dylan and Shinyu connection, while others dismissed it as fan-driven drama. But one thing was clear, the mystery had taken on a life of its own. Somewhere in a quiet apartment across the city, Dylan saw the post too. He stared at it for a long time before locking his phone, the words echoing in his mind like a voice he thought he had forgotten. And Shinyu, halfway across town, was scrolling through her own feed when she saw it. Her expression shifted ever so slightly, as if she too understood the weight behind those words. She did not like or comment, but she read it twice before setting her phone down, the silence in the room around her suddenly deafening. Bai Lu's cryptic message had been sent into the world, and now it lived in the minds of thousands, twisting, evolving, becoming a question with no answer, at least not yet. The hours after Bai Lu's post felt like the world was holding its breath. Screens lit up in every corner of the city as fans scrolled back to read her words again and again, trying to decide whether they were a cry for help, a subtle confession, or the start of something no one was ready to face. The message itself was simple, just a few short lines, but it carried a weight that could not be ignored. It was not the playful tone her followers were used to, nor was it the polished glamour of a carefully managed public image. There was something raw in it, as if she had been staring at her screen for hours before hitting send. By evening, whispers began to rise. Some claimed she was speaking to herself, a way of processing her own struggles. Others swore it was directed at someone in particular, and soon the name Dylan Wang began circulating in comment sections.
It was not just a wild guess.
The phrasing echoed moments from interviews they had shared years ago, moments where their words had seemed harmless at the time, but now carried a strange new tension. On Weibo, a post comparing Bai Lu's message to an old behind-the-scenes video went viral. In the clip, Dylan had turned to her with a line that almost matched her cryptic words. The way her eyes had shifted then, the slight tremor in her smile, suddenly felt like a puzzle piece fitting into place. Fans flooded the thread, replaying the clip in slow motion, pointing out tiny details that no one had noticed before. Shinyu's name entered the conversation later that night when someone dug up an old group photo. Bai Lu was on one side of Dylan, Shinyu on the other, and in the middle of their laughter there was a glance between the two women that felt heavy in hindsight. It was not an unfriendly look, but it carried something unspoken, a silent exchange that could have been misunderstood by anyone watching closely. Now, with this new message out in the open, those glances were being re-examined in a harsh new light. An insider account, known for stirring rumors but also for being right more often than not, claimed the message was a response to something Dylan had said in private just days before. There was talk of a meeting in a quiet restaurant, far from cameras, where voices had been raised just enough for a nearby diner to catch fragments. Words about trust. Words about endings. And a single sentence that the source swore they heard from Bai Lu herself, asking a question that cut deep. If I was never the one, why did you stay? That sentence never appeared in her public post, but it felt like the heartbeat behind it. And if that was true, then the post was more than just a cryptic musing. It was a warning, a sign that something in their carefully guarded world was about to break. Through the night, the speculation grew wilder. Some imagined Dylan scrolling through his phone, reading her words over and over with an unreadable expression. Others painted a picture of Shinyu, catching sight of the post and feeling the weight of a story she was not ready to confront. By morning, it was clear this was no fleeting trend. Bai Lu had set something in motion, and now no one could stop it.